most of us, when we became dads, it's because we had fathered a child.
Yeah.
It's not because we said, okay, now it's time to be a dad.
Yeah.
So suddenly someone got pregnant and
Oh no, I have to do something.
It's time.
I'm gonna take responsibility. But there is a moment when you go, I gotta take responsibility
Exactly.
for this to be.
So I mean, I think sometimes I find the ladies are a bit luckier because they kind of start marinating around how I'm going to be a mom and all these other things and how I'm going to raise my kids. For us, it's okay, we are here now.
Yeah.
Right.
What do I do?
What do you do? What do you do?
How do I solve this?
So the idea, and then societal pressure is a father is a super provider or super, and he's the guy who's going to fix all the mistakes of everyone's upbringing and give us super an imaginary life. And so what most people do when they become dads, they go into hyper productivity mode as opposed to hyper dad mode. So you find, I'm going to take on an extra job, I'm going to try to get a pay rise, I'm going to take on more. I'm not fathering, I'm just running around doing other things over there.
In my life, all my life, I have never seen my dad and mom fight.
Really?
Never.
Wow.
If they had an issue, they disappear in the bedroom. No one raised their voice in front of us. I don't know what happens behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Never. Even raised voice. No, we were the ones who were getting the raised voice. Yeah, what are you doing over there? What are you doing over there? Yeah, but them, they never showed us that side of, as in the two of them fighting.
Yeah.
So, and there's a relationship I was in, and I remember it was an issue because that person has seen that all the time.
Sure.
Sometimes it got physical. But on this other side, I don't believe even we should raise our voices at each other.
No, you're absolutely right.
And
especially not around the kids.
Exactly. So what I am trying to show my kids is maybe this is possible, but I don't know by the time they understand how it's going to be.
Yeah.
You see, maybe you've been in situations where there's a couple friend of yours and their kids are a bit older where they can see, and then they fight in front there, and the kid is like, "Stop it, mommy! Stop it, daddy!" And you're in that position of how is this kid going to be once?
Right.
After all
You've
this.
just modeled some behavior that you really never wanted them to see.
Conflict is part of being in a relationship.
Yeah.
And when couples have conflict, couples also know how to resolve their conflict and get back together.
Yeah.
But the children don't come back together.
Yeah.
And the children don't necessarily see the resolution.
The repair.
They don't.
Yeah, they're not
and
part
I
of
learned
it.
that the very, very hard way. My third born is terrified of even an insinuation of an argument. Because she watched it and she thinks every argument is going to end up in dissolution of a home. And like you said, we messed up on something which we had no intention. All we were busy about was, am I right? Are you right?
Yeah.
So it was, and then you resolved, and today you're able to have a civil conversation. But you have fractured a child. And if I was to do it again, I would not have those arguments in front of the children.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lorraine Zugula, Head of People and Culture at Akili TV and Akili Network.
And I'm Jesse Soleil. I'm the co-founder and president at Akili Network and Akili TV. And I'd like to welcome two esteemed guests to have a conversation today about something very near and dear to my heart and their hearts, I know. And I'm sure will at some point be near and dear to your heart, which is the difference between just fathering a child and actually being a dad. So, gentlemen, would you introduce yourselves, please?
Great. I'm esteemed George. I think I've not been called that. I'm a father. I'm in the export market space for living. I'm a dad. Glad we're here to have this conversation. It's an exciting conversation. I wish someone had told me before I started. I'm a father of 4. So various seasons, and I'm looking forward. Have fun and tell a story.
Great.
All right. I'm trying to figure out words to make sure that it
Bryce,
doesn't.
you got the words, man.
It doesn't sound like.
It's rehearsed.
Yeah, or that kind of group. My name is so and so, and I am a. So my name is Price. That's what many people know me as, and but my real name is Patrice. I'm in media and entertainment, background in aviation, and I am a dad. I'm looking forward to the conversation that we're going to have here.
A dad of how many?
Fabulous.
I'm a dad of 2
okay.
boys, 2 amazing boys, very energetic. Wow. So.
Karibu.
Yeah.
And for you, it's 4.
Yes.
All boys,
No.
girls.
2, a boy, a girl, a boy. So 2 boys, 2 girls.
I need a formula for getting girls.
Don't want it. You're hostage to them all your life. The boys, you can be tough.
You know what's beautiful about today? Not only do we get to talk about being dads, we get to talk about our kids.
Yeah.
Yes.
And show off our pride for them, and also kind of represent, I think, what we believe it means to be a good dad. And that also means you can explore some of the, I think, the dads you had or the fathers you had and your relationships and what led you to the way you father now.
Cue excitement.
Yeah. Applause. Sign.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, George, please, let's start with you. Tell us about you. Tell us about your dad.
Mr. Daniel Ikua. How do I say? I can describe him by what I got from him. Extremely kind, extremely present, storyteller from morning till evening, which is what I picked from him. He really knocked. He hit me on handsomeness. Very handsome man. So very smart, very well spoken. That is all, and what I like about no one has ever asked me to describe him.
Sure.
It's all the good attributes are coming out when I describe him. Grew up in we grew up in Nyeri, and so he had a very interesting. So I grew up seeing my dad every day, but he would go during the week to the farm.
Okay.
So Friday was a dad come home day. And then he was this guy who would come, and my mom was a disciplinarian, so he was the peace. So he's the guy who never once knocked me or anything. And I didn't understand those dynamics. And they had a kind of a conflicting relationship at the time. But he never once responded anytime they had a disagreement or anything. And I think that's what informed me in that. As I've raised my kids, I've always tried to sit and explain stuff through. It doesn't work very well if you're not very present in terms of if your kids get too used to you, then they'll take you for granted. So I can say I have never had to physically discipline my children, which in Kenya is but then does that make me a better dad? No. But how did I do that? It's something I learned from him in terms of just by the tone of voice. I've been able to, just by changing the tone of voice, to instill discipline. I think they've turned out pretty well. We'll discuss more about my journey. But when I describe him, he quit, when I think it was one, he quit active. So one day he looked at the way the global capitalism system works and he said, I'm done with this thing. This thing didn't work for me. And of course my mom didn't understand, and this was very painful for her because you have 4 kids. What are you doing?
Yeah.
How are we going to survive? And he said, no, look, we will survive and we do all this. And it was a bitter point between them all their lives. But now that I'm here, now I understand why he did it. It may not have had the best outcome, but it really, really grounded me in terms of seeing that people are what you aspire to have as your assets, not the physical things. So, yes, I've not had to describe it, but so thank you for asking.
I think you did a great job,
Yes.
actually.
Right.
Price, tell us about your dad.
I would use a song. There's a song that says, President, General.
He was the guy.
Fist, Iron Fist. But funny thing is, he never hit me. Not that I can remember. Never. And when I talk about him, sometimes I get emotional because he's not exactly my biological dad. But I've seen him all my life.
Sure.
He's been there.
He's still your dad.
My biological dad, I don't know where he is. I don't know what's it his life, whatever is happening.
Yeah.
But later on in life, when I got the news, I found out in a very funny way when we were going to for some blood checkup with my wife because she was pregnant.
Oh.
Yeah, we told the two of you are this blood group, and then I told my doctor, I don't think I am that because my father and my mom are this and this. With the little biology I know, they can't produce this. And he was like, let me go and check again. They checked again. I was like, yeah, it's not possible. It's not possible. So I didn't call my mom direct. I called my auntie. My auntie told me, okay, you're old enough. It's okay. Yeah, there's someone else. But the one who was raised you is your dad. And I was like, I didn't even ask him. I didn't call my dad or my mom. And on that day, I had so much respect for him. So much respect because he has raised us in all of us the same. We are three boys. All of us the same. If it's getting mad at us, same. All the rules apply to everyone. Provision, same. In fact, I thought at some point I'm being favored in the family because we have, they call me Sunshine sometimes.
It's that smile, my friend.
Yeah, and so, but he was not always there during the week.
Yeah.
He's a contractor. So he disappears, goes to make road somewhere in the country, mostly comes back the weekends.
Yeah,
Or
so
even
it sounds
a
like
fortnight.
George's dad.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
The weekend dad.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But when he's around, everything was in order. We even had a cat that used to misbehave. But when he's around, even the cat knew that this environment is no joke.
That's great.
Yeah, he had a certain order. And in life, we knew that is how a dad should be. And it is, I think, the three of us, I think how we've turned out, we feel that that's the best way. But as things go by every single day, I have to adjust a little bit of that. Should I call it a manual? I have to adjust a bit because this is a different generation.
Yeah.
What they're exposed to is different. Yeah. Of course, my mom is the one who was the disciplinarian. Somersault, everything, taekwondo.
Are you hearing this? It's the women's job to beat the children. Men come home and have a great time with their kids.
Because my dad, we were so scared. Because there's a way he used to come home. When he's home, there's a vest he usually wears. And then he's big, he's masculine, because you see the veins all over.
You're like, if he hits you, you die.
We knew that if this guy catches me,
I'm done for.
I don't want to be on the wrong side of things.
Right.
Yeah. You bring up a very interesting perspective, right? There was your dad and then there was your father.
Yes.
So what's the difference?
Wow. Dad is very personal. It's like your chum, your guy, the guy who you emulate to. Then when you go to school, you should bring your father. You know, like father is the formal role. Father's dad is like so father is the guy who protects, provides for the home. He's there, ageism, the guy who, then dad is the guy who you have a connection with, the guy who you want to be proud of you, the guy who you draw your. So father, to some extent, you could draw your physical security from, and then these other your emotional kind of securities from dad. Same person.
Okay, what do you think?
I think father is DNA.
I'm with you on that, actually.
Dad,
Seed.
Seed
provider.
But dad is everything. Is the one you've grown up in their ways.
Yeah.
Even the teaching and disciplining in love, you can feel the love inside the discipline. Yourself, you know that that was wrong. It was my mistake. Yeah. And following the template is the same for every child that comes through. And out of that, later on, when you're a teenager or younger, you feel like this guy, no. True. Yeah. But when you're older, especially now that you have your own kids, you realize this man was doing something amazing. Yeah. So you wish you can use the same template, but times have changed. So you need to create your own and borrow a few from the other side.
You have to adapt.
Yeah.
I'll give you a little perspective and why I've slightly aligned more with your perspective. So I'm one of 8. My dad had children with 3 women. My 2 older sisters and 5 younger brothers and sisters didn't know that I existed. I didn't meet them or my father until I was 26 years old. And so there's no animosity in that. But the guy who fathered me was not my dad. And so I think this is where, yes, I think it's a personal thing. And where you had a template and you have incredible fondness, like I can hear from both of you, like the templates and the things that you learned. I just had to think, what's the best thing? Who would be the father that I would want? And that's who I'm going to be. So it's like, I don't know. I'm watching Leave It to Beaver just to age myself on television, and Ward Cleaver. I'm like, that dude's awesome, and that guy, and this guy, and Steve McQueen, and these. I'm like, I want a little of that. I want a little of that. I want to be the guy that's adventurous, but the guy that's kind. All those things. It's like, what's the amalgam? How do you templatize that and turn it into something you can actually parent from? I think it's really, and plus on top of that, then you have societal pressures, you have spousal pressures, you have family, community pressures. We talked about this before the camera came on. You have a responsibility as the man of the house to be able to provide. And how does that interfere with your ability to also just be the person you want to be? And sometimes there's incredible stress. We, as men, often don't get time to even talk about that stuff without feeling defensive.
And I think it's, and that's why it's good you're having this conversation. Because most of us, when we became dads, it's because we had fathered a child. It's not because we said, okay, now it's time to be a dad. So suddenly someone got pregnant and
I have to do something.
It's time.
I'm going to take responsibility. But there is a moment when you go, I got to take responsibility for this.
So I mean, sometimes I find the ladies are a bit luckier because they kind of start marinating around how I'm going to be a mom and all these other things and how I'm going to raise my kids. For us, it's, okay, we are here now. Right.
What do I do?
What do we do? How do I solve So the idea, and then societal pressure is a father is a super provider or super, and he's the guy who's going to fix all the mistakes of everyone's upbringing and give us super an imaginary life. And so what most people do when they become dads, they go into hyper productivity mode as opposed to hyper dad mode. So you find, I'm going to take on an extra job, I'm going to try to get a pay rise, I'm going to take on more. I'm not fathering, I'm just running around doing other things over there. And so those suddenly he gets himself lost in that provision cycle. Sometimes he even forgets to be a husband. Most of all, he forgets to be a dad. He says, look at what I brought home. What are you on about?
Yeah.
And then that whole thing, in the middle of all that, he forgets to be himself. Because you're a dude.
Sure.
So you want to have fun. You want to go do something adventurous. You want to kick it with the boys. You want to do all those things. So you've suddenly created 4 pockets that have to live inside you. Then, and that's where the whole thing starts to crumble, because very few people actually sit in conventions like this and say, okay, what does this mean? What kind of father am I going to be? This is how mine was. I'm going to model against after him. I mean, take the good, edit some of the bad.
Yeah.
Your spouse, whoever you're raising with, is
She's going to have an opinion, right?
So how are you going to make sure she then turn you into her dad, or turn you into the part of her dad that works? So for example,
you bring up, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you bring up an interesting point, because it's not just about your dad, it's also about her dad.
So
I have a point about
that. So there are 2 dads which are forming a model, and then in the middle there's this boy who just fathered. He's not a man, this is a boy who just fathered. And that whole mix, and that's what I was saying, congratulations as you get married. Some of the conversations that at the interview you used to have is, what kind of dad do you want me to be? Because, I mean, I didn't do it. We're only saying this thing in hindsight.
Well, that sounds super intentional to have that conversation.
Yeah, but if you're going to listen to a podcast like this, go sit down and have that conversation. If you're going to run kids and say, okay, what kind of dad do you want me to be? Are we going to something must suffer. Like we said, if I'm going to be a super provider dad, the presence will suffer. If I do super presence, the provision will suffer. Are you willing to compromise?
And beyond that question is also, and sorry to cut you short, it's also beyond what dad do I want you to be, is what dad do you envision you are going to be, right? It's, have you thought about it? Have you internalized it?
What's your priority?
What's your priority, and what the kind of dad do you think that you will be, and what behaviors will you model for our futuristic children, right? There's what I want, but what have you thought about what you want? Because it's not just about me. It's the both of us.
I don't know. Okay, I'll be honest. I didn't know.
Okay.
I didn't know. The only thing,
sometimes you don't know to
at
the middle
that time,
of it.
my relationship with my dad was not one that I was seeing the greatness in him. So I was like, no, I do not want to be like him. And my wife was looking at her and said, I want you to be exactly like him. And then somewhere in the middle there was me, who I actually am. So we are not sitting and saying, okay, that will not work. This will work. This will work. And it's just that honesty in terms of, because you realize most of our dads had us in their 20s. When I was in my 20s, I can tell you, I was nothing.
I was an idiot.
Yes, I was an idiot. I was looking for the word. I was an idiot. So you're telling an idiot to lead a child and a home and a woman into greatness and prosperity. It's an idiot.
How's that going to work?
So you have to also let me evolve. But I can tell you, me in my 20s, I'm like, everything here is an interruption on its way to a party. Like,
and Price, no manual. No manual. That was something you said earlier. No manual.
And you see, when you get in there, you've decided, I'm going to adapt. The first manual that comes into your head was, how did my dad do it? And then you start applying some of them. Like, my dad never used to even interact with the house help, anybody who is around dealing with the home. That was the work of my mom. So I bring in the model this time. Even if I'm in the house help is there, and I want something, I call my wife to call.
Oh my goodness.
I want food. So I'm using that model, but my wife is like, no,
just tell her.
My dad did do that. My dad, if he wanted something, he does it this way. So then now I have to find a compromise because it was now bringing issues. And my model now needs to be, my dad's model needs to be toned down a bit, because also my wife is coming in with I'm expecting you to be like my dad, because I was raised like this. Because at first, when we were starting this journey, she brought it up a couple of times. You know, my dad used to. my dad does this. One day, I just looked at her and told her, I am not your dad. I'll never be your dad.
Thank God.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we can be who we envision ourselves to be.
Yeah.
So let's help each other. What do you want me to do? But this is what I would like to do. You see, and it is very different in this generation in that, especially the space that I'm in. I'm in media and entertainment.
Yeah.
My wife is an influencer, a vlogger, so she's out there.
Yeah.
She posts about lifestyle. So you see, people are watching to see how is your husband a dad? How are they doing? Now it also comes with things like provision. You see, I am expected to buy, let's say, the biggest, the best toys for my kids. And it might make someone feel I'm not doing enough for my child.
Yeah.
Personally, I can get it for free.
Yeah.
Because of marketing. But to another dad, it is pressure.
Yeah.
Because maybe the wife might say, you see, other dads are doing this for their kids.
Yeah.
Yes. And then it's not like I am there. My wife is also watching other things out there.
Yeah.
There's always, they say there's always someone bigger or someone
Richer, someone.
Yeah. I'm also under that pressure. And then sometimes you see on social media, some of those things are acting.
Yeah.
You see some a
great deal of it is.
Kim Kardashian is with Kanye, and this is how they're doing. They're going to this place, and that guy is such a nice dad. You don't know what happens in the background.
Yeah.
So whatever we are fed on the screen, that's what some people out here are using as what a dad should be.
Yeah.
They don't know
The
some of
SI
it is
unit.
acting. Yes. And it's putting a lot of pressure, and especially when it's coming from your wife.
Yeah.
Like, why can't we do that? And in terms of provision, especially, you are like, wow. And it can lead a man to depression.
Yeah.
Very easily.
Right.
Because sometimes you see, like you said, you have 4 pockets. And then there's that time you come into the house, you need that nothingness. You just
Yeah. You need your own
Yeah,
space.
you just need but the boys are like, but it's our time.
Yeah.
You've been outside
You're
there.
home.
Yeah, it's our
I'm gonna
time.
attack you.
They're everywhere. They're pulling you this way. Let's go and play. But you're beat. You're beat. Like whatever I do, when it comes to entertainment, some of my gigs are they need a lot of energy.
Yeah.
You're coming back home. If the adrenaline has not gone down, you're okay. But
Yeah.
if it has gone down, that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a big
Drink
problem.
a Monster or Red Bull.
That's true. I remember one day coming home from work, and it was like a hectic job. And I just sat down with my dad and I was like, I don't understand how you guys had kids. Like, while working, I don't understand how you guys had kids. And I'm just like, I come home, and even with them, and these are adults, I don't want to talk to anyone. And you'd come home, and of course our expectation is you have to have time for us and play with us. So we're starting out with hide and seek.
Yeah.
And he would seek for real, and he would look invested in the game. And I'm seated here thinking, after my long day, and I'm interacting with people the whole day, I just want to come home to peace and quiet. Don't talk to me. I'm just like, how did you do it? You know?
Well, I think there's 2 sides to it. So sometimes you come home and you want to be solo.
Yeah.
Sometimes you come home and when the kids attack you, it rejuvenates you.
Yes.
I mean, you
Yes.
get a lot from
Yes.
them
Yeah.
too. This is a reciprocal relationship. You know, it's not just one way. Sometimes I'm really tired though, and I know you're feeling.
Yeah.
And it's like, I totally want to hang out. I'm so freaking beat right now. Can I just have a couple of hours and then?
You
yes.
talk to them and tell them that?
Yeah. Just give
okay.
me a couple hours and I'll check out that PlayStation game with you. Yes, I want to see, Dad, come and check out this cutscene. I mean, you know, teenagers, right? I mean,
I have one preteen and one teen. And to what you're saying, and again, this thing about time, I've realized currently in the way the world is set up, parenting has become a guilt sport. You're only guilty because you come home and you're so tired and you can't play that PS.
Yeah.
And then they do not know how to translate that. It is that you're tired. They're like, but you're not working. How are you? Or are you? Because you're supposed to be this super always energetic being.
Yeah.
I'll say, unfortunately, women are the ones who bear a lot of the brunt of that expectation. It's a corporate lady with young children really lives a very nightmarish life. Because kids will leave a dad if he looks tired. But they can never leave a mom to be. There's no, I'm tired, I need space. You get that corporate job, you walk through that door. They don't care.
It starts from birth when they have to get up. And then you're like, thank God she has to get up.
I was just telling you. I was just telling you, like, we've been blessed. My last one is 4 months old. And my wife tells me, hey, last night we didn't sleep. I'm like, what?
Can't relate.
I was less than a meter away, a few centimeters. I've never had that before. The pressures are different. Let me just be honest on this. But also, and to what she was saying about this, people call it societal pressure, but I think there's also a lot of, because if you've not decided what kind of dad you want to be, there's a lot of pressure we put ourselves on because of what we have perceived. So, I mean, one question that was asked very importantly was, if you can't provide, are you not a dad anymore? You know, based on what you were saying. Because dad has nothing to do with superprovision. It's just that society or something is going through something where we're externally facing fatherhood. So instead of internally facing. And I'll tell you, the man I am today was because of watching him. It had nothing to do. I don't think any child or any adult walks around remembering the way the father paid school fees on the first day of the term.
No,
child.
I've never thought about it.
You don't.
No.
But yet, the pride we are having is that we paid fees on the first day of the term. So we think we have dad. We have parent.
Or even the school they took us to.
You remember the day he played with you?
The
day you went for a trip together, the day you had a conversation, the day you saw him at his weakest and at his best. You don't remember when he did the provision.
No.
And yet everyone is thinking, that guy will make a good dad because he'll provide. This has nothing to do with it. Even you yourself as a lady. You don't remember. No one remembers that he paid for the meal. No one. And that's actually a problem that we're having.
It's interesting you bring that up. So we grew up mostly comfortable, right? But as again, seasons happen, right? And my dad retired early. And at one point, there was a season of kind of like luck, let me say. And those things changed where you go into a supermarket and I'm a daddy's girl, kind of. So pick out anything you want. And then now, I remember coming home, he was picking me from school and he had to have a conversation with me where now we can't get everything that you would want. We have to, kind of ration the way we spend and how we spend, right? And it was such an open and honest and vulnerable conversation of I'm out of work, but I'm not thinking about going back. So the amounts that we have and have invested, it has to last us for a certain time. And right, if I'm going into consultancy or even starting a business, there's the struggles of starting a business, right? And so it's having that conversation that made me know, okay, it makes me aware that, okay, times have changed. So if he says no, it's probably, okay, I have to think about, it's not because he's saying no because he doesn't want to, but we're in this season, right? And it was that intentionality of having that conversation and making me aware that this is the season I'm in. And it didn't make me think of him as any less than, right? In fact, I had more respect for him. That it's not easy for a man to say, I don't have money, know?
So this is another part of the thing, I think, as we move forward, vulnerability, right? Like there's this perception that dad is the provider, is the superpower, is yes, maybe he comes home and he's stoic or his arms are bulging. He's a guy. He's testosterone incarnate, right? what happens when they're vulnerable?
Yeah.
Now, in my case, we never saw that part of him. I think mostly was shielded by our mom. So when we had that season of lack, it is our mom who responded and said, right now, we are not where we usually are.
Yeah.
So, and if we are able to understand, right now I understand the sacrifice that my dad had to go through. Because right now you look at the payslip they had that time, Paka, you're asking them, you guys used to sell drugs on the side because you couldn't.
How did you survive?
How did you all do all this? Huh?
Yeah.
And
It's called overtime, my friend.
because you can't imagine all that. And most of the time, you might be in that season. But when you ask for something, let's say, Dad, I need like 2K. For what? Any other thing, there's no money.
Yeah.
But when you say for school, that school thinks we are picking money, and it gives you the money. When it is something important, it just shows up. I didn't know how we used to do that.
Yeah.
You see, so to me, one of the things I got from all that was sacrifice. Sacrifice was the big thing to me, and sacrifice on time, sacrifice on provision. That to me was the big thing, and that is what I am applying right now. And sometimes you can be overwhelmed, by it, and you're thinking, am I doing enough? You see, am I present enough for the boys? Because you realize that the boys are picking up a few things from you. Like my youngest is 1.5. When you meet him, he doesn't say dad. He doesn't say that. He says dad. He's trying to speak
Like you.
Drop his voice.
Dad. Yeah. So you realize he's in a season of watching everything that I am doing, how much time I'm spending with him. He runs around saying the same thing. He's even adapted it to his grandfather. So and he looks at the grandfather, he tries to talk like that. Yeah. Anything you say, what's your name? Jabari. So, and when getting back to the point where talking about vulnerability is, I didn't see it in my dad. He always put that face, and of course it was shielded by my mom. Anything that used to deal with the vulnerability, my mom would sort. Even there was a time he was attacked coming home. He was attacked by thugs. He used to come home like Friday nights, and he would show up at around 1 p.m. in the night. So my mom usually waits. One day he opens the door, bangs the door. My mom opens. He gets in. There's blood on this side. He goes in, gets a panga, goes out. We are like, what just happened? And my mom says, follow him. We are also like, let's go. Even at that moment, now when he was tending to his wounds, you can feel it. You can feel like he's saying, if I could have gotten those guys, you can just see it. As in, the rage is still there. Those guys, I would have finished them. So at any one moment, he didn't show us that. But personally, I feel that a little bit of it is good, and it also depends with the kids at what age they are to understand what is happening. Because right now I cannot be, when they're watching me, I cannot be so, I feel like I cannot be, they cannot see my face down or crying. That is one thing, because they're watching. You see, that one is picking up things that I am doing. When I put, our household puts worship music in the house, or I do so, and they watch. There's a time we find the boys worshiping in the house. It's just like this. We wonder, what are you doing? Then we realized, anytime that kind of music comes up, he goes like this. That's Jabari. Jasir is a different story. So I just have to watch at the age that I expose my vulnerability, because I also don't want to show my boys that you always have to be this way, because one day it might all explode in your face.
Right.
Yeah, you don't have to do it all the time, and there's a way you can sort it out.
So you're managing the mask.
Yes.
You're managing it. And I'm calling it a mask because, if you're not showing something, you're hiding something.
Yes.
What's your perspective, George?
I think in my multiple cycles, I think in my big brood of children. And I'll say this, maybe it's just from a different experience. I think vulnerability is your power as a dad, in my view. I didn't see it in mine, but then I came to realize that is where we disconnected. Because I saw an invincible man, but the results were failing. So they did not match the face he was putting and what was the outcome. I can see the struggle, but I can't see the struggle in this side. And for me, what that made me as a personal decision was to be, by vulnerability, you're not saying things are not down. You're saying things are down, I will figure it. Or I don't know how I'll figure it, but I'm figuring it. And mine has been, so generally when people talk about when times to be vulnerable, it's usually around change of resources, when there's money in the home. So
Mostly.
For mine, the biggest one was, of course, I mean, my story is in the public domain, was when my wife was diagnosed with cancer. And we had to go for 2 years and then she died. So the cancer part, and they were very young. And then now navigating them out of that. And having to tell them it's bad. It's not good. It's bad. It's a bad set of circumstances. It's bad.
And I'm in the middle of it.
And I'm broken. I've lost my wife.
My
you're
friends.
so young.
Yeah, no.
And then so you're confused. There's a lot of confusion. Then you go through, then I started dating again, just trying to get this whole thing together. Interview process was flawed.
Right.
I don't think I tackled the question paper. I don't think I turned it over. I think I asked the first 3 questions.
First 3 questions.
I didn't turn the paper.
Maybe they just had crammed the marking scheme, so
I
you brought in the right paper. The marking scheme was there.
The theory was right. The practicals were a bit harder.
So, of course, if you didn't interview properly, people are not for the job. And so now they had to watch this second mom leave. And that was chaotic. That was chaotic.
Yeah.
And in the middle of all this, and I'll tell you, I mean, I've been in business for 25 years. And I can tell you, business is actually, I think, 3 to 7 year cycles of, is the time it just goes down.
Sometimes it's great, and sometimes
Sometimes it
it's
just goes
awful.
down. And then they have had to go through all this. So as you're going through these home dynamics, and then we're very lucky, improved my questionnaire,
The
went through
interview
it,
process.
allocated the right marks, the different questions, and I met my lovely wife, and we've had to do it. So what I'm trying to say is this: given those set of circumstances, on what's going on the spousal pressure, and then on being in businesses closing and opening, having ups and downs, and then somewhere in the middle of there, lost my dad and my brother in the middle of that whole
My goodness.
season.
Yeah.
Moved houses, so they shift their friends. Moved schools, so they shift their schools. So what I'm saying is that to have lied that I was not breaking.
Yeah,
would have
I'm
been-
okay throughout this
But in
process.
the middle of that, I realized every time I told them the truth, they liked it more.
Yeah, they gather around you.
They really, really rallied more
Yeah.
and removed a lot of pressure from me. Because I remember, and I'll talk about some of the things that people are going through. You don't have fees in your kid is just from school.
Yeah.
The people who lie to the child, there's a cholera outbreak in the school. That's why they are not going.
They never got the check.
Oh my
There's
goodness.
cholera, that's why you're not going tomorrow. I mean, this is what people have gone to relate to. But kids are smart.
Yeah.
Yes.
They can tell when there's money in the house
Yeah.
And there's no money in the
Yes,
house.
exactly.
And they're also very understanding. And when you see it and they say, I remember one time when we were going through those business cycles, and of course, you have those school fees as delayed. I told my daughter, hey, I think for the next 3 days, you might have to chill here. And in her innocence, she's like, okay, I can do without Blue Band. So she's in her head, the savings are the Blue Band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so sweet and naive and thinking. And then you realize in their world, whether or not you have, you are the star. Like you
Exactly.
literally
Yeah.
the biggest, brightest thing they have ever seen.
Yeah.
So that light is not, it's other adults who tell you because now maybe your relationship is down or your finances are down or your friendships are down or your health is down, that your light is dimmed. Your kids don't see that.
Yeah.
Kids love you regardless. And that's why I say your vulnerability will only put you down to other peers, not your kids. So you kind of strengthen them because and you'll see you pass on these things. One of the things, and I know, Price, really nice to meet you. One of the things you will pass down to your kids is that same thing. And at one point, you'll handle it very well. Maybe one of them won't handle it very well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it's, and I'm not saying go be crying and
Every
telling
single
all your
time.
stories.
Yeah.
And also, it's the same way with our lovely gender here. The ladies tell us, please share.
Yeah.
But if you start,
Share.
you tell your
Oh
woman,
my
you tell your lady all
goodness.
your problems, she will not be a woman for very
No,
long.
in fact,
She won't be a woman for very long.
and that's probably one of the reasons why men don't live as long as the women.
Yes,
Because we
we
hold
can't
all
be
that.
hold on. If I told you what I'm handling, she'd be like, did I choose rightly? This guy is a train wreck. But
Yeah.
it's not, I don't think you would leave. I just think it's that how we've been socialized
Yeah.
to think that, like he's saying, if I say I'm in a bad season, to us men, it sounds like it's a cry for help and hopelessness. It's not a communication. Women communicate all the time. Oh, by the way, I lost my job, so I'm just
Yeah, that's true.
We'll still put on the time, leave the house.
Vulnerability, though.
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of different forms of it. So, I told the story in our last episode, but my wife and I got in an argument. My son was downstairs on the PlayStation. He heard us arguing. I did something stupid. Okay, she was chastising me for it. So, and I was like, shh, he can hear, because I could hear the volume come down. So, yes, we fought a little bit longer. And then the next day she said, well, he came up and he asked me what we were fighting about. And I told him, and the boy said, oh, I've lost all respect for him.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, that's terrible. I mean, it wasn't that bad, but the next day I'm driving him to school and I said to him, hey, I did something really bad and Mom and I fought about it and it was stupid. And I just wanted you to know that, I did a stupid thing and that's why we were fighting. And he went, oh. And then as we drove, I went to drop him off at the train. And then right before he got out, he said, Dad, I did something stupid too. I'm like, oh, really? What'd you do? And then he told me and I was like, okay. And I didn't yell at him for it. And it would, absolutely something I told him never to do, but he did it. But he told me. And so that me opening up and saying, I was wrong, not only got my respect back, but it got to the point where he told me something that he would never have told me had I not done that. So I think these are unlockable opportunities by being able to show a side of yourself. Hey, you know what? We are fallible. We aren't always. Yes, we do hurt. Yes, we do. We do make mistakes.
Yeah.
But when we own up to them, that's where the strength really is. Like a real man will own up to the fact that, hey, I was wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe this would have been different had I done something else. And they learn from that. Those are the things. They don't remember the dinner you bought them.
None.
But they'll remember that moment
They don't.
when they said, hey, I was wrong. That was a big guy.
Yeah, it's on the same. I want us to go somewhere. I hope I'm not leading
No,
the
no,
conversation
no,
somewhere.
Absolutely, it's okay.
The point you've just said. In my life, all my life, I have never seen my dad and mom fight.
Really?
Never.
Wow.
If they had an issue, they disappear in the bedroom. No one raised their voice in front of us. I don't know what happens behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Never. Even raised voice. No, we were the ones who were getting the raised voice. Yeah, yo, what are you doing over there? What are you doing over there? Yeah, but them, they never showed us that side of, as in the two of them fighting.
Yeah.
So, and there's a relationship I was in, and I remember it was an issue because that person has seen that all the time.
Sure.
Sometimes it got physical. But on this other side, I don't believe even we should raise our voices at each other.
No, you're
Yes.
absolutely right.
And
Especially not around the kids.
exactly. So what I'm trying to show my kids is maybe this is possible, but I don't know by the time they understand how it's going to be.
Yeah.
You see, maybe you've been in situations where there's a couple friend of yours and their kids are a bit older, where they can see, and then they fight in front there, and the kid is like, "Stop it, mommy! Stop it, daddy!" And you're in that position of how is this kid going to be once?
Right.
After all
You've
this.
just modeled some behavior that you really never wanted them to see.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Like, so this is really a big one, I think, in terms of the role of being a dad.
Yeah.
The spousal conflict
Yep.
in the middle of being a father or dad.
Yes.
Are we calling it father or dad? Okay, we're
Dad.
calling
Dad.
We're in dad. So, so I grew up the opposite to you. I actually thought all women yell. Because my mother would only communicate by yelling. Oh my gosh. No, I'm like, why is she talking softly? Like, and suddenly,
She must be trying to manipulate me.
I know. If I ever saw her being nice to him, I was like, you're about to be stabbed. My mom would yell. Like, they had this relationship. But in hindsight, I keep asking, but you never left.
Yeah.
Never one day
Yeah.
left. Never even considered it. But chewing him up every day. Never.
Ever.
And would serve him food while chewing him up. Wow. As we are not chewed up, but we are not served food.
I like that.
Something there. But anyway.
It's interesting because
No, I'm not sorry. I serve myself.
yeah.
So come to my thing.
Yeah.
And like we said, our 20s, we are idiots, right? And you don't really understand the implications of what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I think in my second relationship is where we had a lot of that yelling in front of the kids. And up to today, I can see the scars. And I would really, really urge to whoever is going to watch what we're talking about. Like, kids, when you're arguing, what I learned from that second relationship, conflicts in front of children, when you're arguing, they can't see the points. They can't see that's the wrong person and that's the right person.
Yeah.
You look like two people. How do I say? You are their center and the center is breaking. That's all they see.
Yeah.
And of course, they have all had all horror stories from the schoolyard and all these manner of things.
Yeah.
And while couples, conflict is part of being in a relationship.
Yeah.
And when couples have conflict, couples also know how to resolve their conflict and get back together.
Yeah.
But the children don't come back together.
Yeah.
And the children don't necessarily see the resolution.
The
don't
repair.
They don't.
Yeah, they're not
And
part
I
of
learned
it.
that the very, very hard way. My third born is terrified of even an insinuation of an argument. Because she watched it and she thinks every argument is going to end up in dissolution for home. And like you said, we messed up on something which we had no intention. All we were busy about was, am I right? Are you right?
Yeah.
So it was, and then you resolved, and today you're able to have a civil conversation. But you have fractured a child. And if I was to do it again, I would not have those arguments in front of the children. And this is such a big, big thing about being a dad. And one thing which I didn't emulate my dad in that season was while he's being chewed up, I never had him respond. That's the only thing he responded. Salt. Water. As she went on. and they don't, and then, you know, in our 20s, and when we started to date, we have a lot of bravado, we're very argumentative as young men, and even whoever you're dating, you sit down, you argue. He never wants to back down, and he always wants to be right.
Yeah.
And that's who we were.
Yeah.
And then to tell that person suddenly, learn to back down.
Yeah.
Learn not to hear the words that are being shouted at you.
Swallow your pride.
Swallow your pride.
Yeah.
And that is the biggest gift you could give your kids, is to swallow your pride and mute and then go and resolve whatever you resolve. That is something which I think every person who is starting to be a dad, it's the leadership role that you really have to play in your house. If you want to have functional children,
Yeah.
or you'll spend your whole life repairing them because of that.
I mean, I have a question based off of that. And I love what you said is it's more of don't hear my words, hear my heart when I'm speaking, right? And there are two effects to not being able to watch conflict, right? And most people know about the conflict personalities, right? Or the conflict, you're either avoidant, you're secure, you're, all those personalities, you're anxious, all those things, right? And it's more of, if you don't see conflict between your parents, or sometimes you see the one-sided conflict where, yes, you're getting chewed up and then your dad keeps quiet and then your mom ends up keeping quiet, and it looks to you as a child is keeping quiet keeps the peace, right? I don't know any way that is right or wrong about it, and I'm just asking as a future wife, mother, and just
I want Price to answer, but I'll just quickly answer you.
Yeah.
So I think Price is in me. You have
a different experience.
What I'll tell you is this. These things are easy to talk about, say, when you're on a podcast or we're discussing in theory.
Yeah.
When you're arguing with your wife, there's not much logic.
The heat rises.
Is it? And that's why when he said, what are you looking for? You need to be looking for shared values.
Yeah.
If you and your wife have a shared value of we will never yell in front of the kids.
Yeah.
And she holds that dearly to her, and you hold the same, you'll be able to do it. But if only one of you is doing this, it's going to be a mess. Because your spouse and you are going to disagree.
Yeah.
That is part of this thing.
It's given.
But it's how, and that's part which, that should be one of the main interview questions. Like, how do we handle conflict? And you see, like what you're saying, he never saw it. But I'm not saying don't hide. You can say, I'm upset with your dad, but I still
love him.
It's that part. I'm upset with you. It's like, will you still be a gentleman when she has pissed you off? But then, that is easy to say. But when the transgression is very heavy, This logic is very theoretical.
It's a nice to have.
Use your
We're
mind.
talking podcasts. You know, we meet George in the house.
Yeah.
I think growing up, there's a time when now I started to understand when I can tell some moods, but I never see them fight. So judging by the way they are moving around, and then there was one way I used to know there was a problem. When my dad showed up with the shoes from Bata for my mom, I knew he had messed up.
The equivalent of he can't follow.
You're trying to make things right here. Yeah. But it's never easy. Right from the start. Now there's a pastor who told me never be with a spouse who you don't know the authority she responds to. Now the authority she responds to is very simple, in that if there's conflict, that authority can sit her down or sit him down with the values that authority has. That authority, it could be the parents, it could be a mentor. If that person is their ways are not, or their values are not the same as yours, not an upstanding citizen, let me say that, then you should be very careful, because that is someone they would like to emulate. You should be very careful. So if that person, when you are having a conflict and they say this way, that your spouse will most definitely follow what he or she says. If it's a pastor who values marriage, there's a place you can go when you guys are having a conflict. It's even a small conflict. Alikwambia nini? What did they tell you? If she say that word, leave her.
Yeah.
And you respond to that saying, this is not the right person for me.
Yeah.
And then if they respond to other people, like down in Ushago, there are those men, like right now you meet in the city, a guy is doing well, but the guy is very violent back at home. And when you ask him what is up, he says, I used to see my dad discipline, and they use the word discipline my
their
mom.
wife, yeah.
And even the wazes right there, for whatever reason, they say that wife needed to be disciplined. And you're like, oh my goodness, this is something he's taking from the people who he looks up to. So it is not going to change anytime soon.
At least not with this guy.
Yes, not with this guy. Not with this guy. Yeah. And also the other side, the ladies, the things they are told, the people they emulate or they value so much. So the authority over your person that he or she can listen to is also very important in their life.
Yeah. And I mean, we're talking and discussing it, but we don't live in utopia, right? So not everyone had the privilege of having a dad, and not everyone, even currently.
Well, I was gonna actually, I was leading to a question I was gonna ask. What's your opinion on guys who dip, who come in, have a kid, and bail immediately?
Yeah,
because I think that's a problem, right? I mean, it's a huge problem in Kenya, and the celebration of single moms is amazing, but the dudes who make them single moms are oftentimes avoidant of responsibility. And what's your perspective on that? Because I think that's the fathering versus being a dad.
And maybe before you answer, I'll just add on to that is there a replacement? Like, for example, an uncle. Yes, we pride in single moms and everything, but I do believe that, especially for boy children, they need that father figure. Even for girl children, you need that, because children in general, right? It doesn't matter the gender, right? So is there like a replacement, not really replacement, but someone who, a mentor, a coach, or a teacher, an uncle, that there's the missing father figure, but someone who needs to be in their life that not really replaces, but at least helps shape this missing piece of the puzzle?
I can touch on that just a little bit. there's a time when because we were living in Kisumu, my dad is a contractor. So 2 years, 3 years, we didn't see him. He disappeared. Later on, I found out that they had some issues, but then during those issues, he got an accident. He could not walk. For 2 years, he was just going through surgeries and everything.
My goodness.
Yeah. So, and at that time, there was a shift. Also, my mom was she just gotten out of work. There's some issues over there. Now, what my parents did, and I don't know if it was a family decision. There's an uncle of mine, and he's an elder in the church. At that time, I think he had like 2 or 3 kids. What they decided to do is to come live with us. So that, because we are 3 boys, imagine, and we had a few, 2 or 3 cousins. So the decision was so that these boys don't lose way. He needed to be there, and he's more strict than my
solution.
dad.
Yeah.
He's more strict than my dad.
Yeah.
So he came in, he stepped in, and he has a background in teaching. You know how teachers are, Kenyan teachers are. Yeah, especially secondary school. You know how they are.
Yeah.
So and at that time, I really commend them. I respect them for making that decision, because it shaped us at that moment. We didn't know which direction we are going, who is going to lead us at this time, because we are boys. We are looking at who are we looking up to. Yes, that's why it is very important, at least, to have someone who the boys can relate to. There's a church here in Nairobi, the single moms, during the holidays, it's like a camp. During the holidays, they take their kids, and then the dads, the elders who are there, they meet up with them every single day. The kids are there in one place, but the dads come in, they play with them. Remember this, they don't know their dads, but these guys are coming to, the dads are coming in, they're picking up duties. Coming in on Monday, you will come in on this day. So every evening, they have like 10 to 15 dads around them. All throughout the entire period, like 2 weeks. So they're basically showing them, this is how a man should be, this is how a man should treat a lady, and I was looking at that model. I was like, why don't people know that you guys can do this?
Yeah,
I know it's not possible everywhere.
Yeah,
I don't know how maybe the other the mothers, because the single mothers with their approach to life, and maybe the way they've been hurt.
Yeah.
There are those who are kabisa, as in men are, and that's it. That's it. And then they just want, it's them. They want to play all the roles. And for a boy child, I feel maybe something might miss. Something might miss. You might get some percentages right, but something might miss. So if there's somebody close, an uncle, or if you are that uncle and you see something like that happening, please, I feel that you should get closer, closer to that child until just step in for some time until someone else comes in to fill the gap in a right way. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So, in my huge myriad of things that I've gone through, so I've been a husband, the wife. I became a widower, and I became a baby daddy. Now I'm a husband, a wife again. And I'll tell you, and I'm not laying blame. I hope whoever is listening here is not laying blame on. It's trying to hear what we're saying and not trying to look for who we are pointing fingers at. But I can tell you for free, single parenting is the hardest thing anyone will ever do. Like it's nightmarish. Because there's always, whether it's a single mom or a single dad, there's always a big vacuum in the room. And you literally see it. So half the day, you are running helter-skelter, trying to fill in the void. But in doing that, abdicating your side, and then the kids are as confused and as lost with you.
Yeah.
And what we've done, I think, as a society that's really, really unfair, was that in trying to really support the single mom, because right now it's literally over 30% of our community.
Yeah.
In trying to support them and celebrate them, we have encouraged it and cheered it. We've made it look very if any single mom sat with you, she would tell you this thing is nightmarish. It is extremely hard. And it's not about resources. The gap that is there is not easy.
It's like playing a football game with half the team.
With half the team versus a full team. And don't be lied to.
Messi and Ronaldo
don't be
on your
lied
side,
to
but you
by
still
have the team.
Don't be lied to by Instagram, by social media.
My guys are
This
trying really
thing
hard.
is hard. And people ask how, what if I have the money? No, it has nothing to do with money.
No.
Yeah.
Because what happens is, so I told you I have boys and girls. The boy, if he's lacking the father, he has no compass to point to. None. So you're basically creating something that is going nowhere. A girl, there's something that a father does to a girl. If he's been a dad correctly,
They represent
they
something.
represent the man, the imaginary man.
Yeah.
So the father is the first person who tells a girl that she doesn't have to give up anything of her for her to be adored.
Yeah.
First person who does that. So devoid of him, she thinks suddenly that's how you enter the transaction.
Yeah.
The transaction comes from the absence of the father. So if there is a way you can avoid it by all means, because it is when they're in their 20s and 30s that you'll realize the mess that came.
Yes.
Now, let's go back to you couldn't avoid it.
Yeah.
And what we talk about, the men who did it and the women who got into this thing. And I'll tell you, if you go as a man, and I'll speak to the men now, if you go as a man and look for all the men in their 60s, 70s, all of them to a man are looking for their kids. There is not one. All of us genetically are wired to go look for our seed. It is
Really?
we when we are in our 20s, 30s,
where they are
40s,
you know.
we have bravado, we think we are so cool, we are macho, we validate through whatever other things. But I can tell you, especially when health kicks in. When health kicks in, and as sure it will kick in. When health kicks in, the first thing the guy does is start to look for his. And then you enter the nightmare of watching your own seed hate you. That is a terrible way to leave this earth.
Yeah.
But people don't talk enough about it.
Yeah.
And I wish men could sit and say, look, me abandoned some child somewhere, whatever. And it haunts you. It haunts you. I think it's just that the pain comes later. It's just that then women say, but these guys are living this thing all over. It's, how do I say, this thing is inevitable. They are going to pay for it. Right? It's inevitable. And two, so what I would say to the single moms on the father figure thing. First, it is, now yours is a triple hard job, but because you really, really have to interview well for this thing. And immediately, if you find yourself in the single mom space, because I'll give a scenario. I can't talk about for the single moms. I'll talk about when I was a single dad. When I was a single dad, every woman I spoke to, even a simple business meeting like this, looked like a wife to me. Like, you're a female. You're like, you're in a podcast. You're like, hey, I think we'll live with that. You know? Because it's so loud, especially when there was someone before.
Yeah.
So it's so loud. But what that does is that it really blinds you to how you interview.
Yeah.
Because you just sing female equals mother. And now you flip on their side, male equals father. So you end up with these very strange human beings. And again, adding to the confusion of the kids who are watching you helter-skelter jumping between those both roles. And what I would advise is that if you find yourself as a single mom, purpose to have a father figure who is not in a relationship with you. Because when you bring in the father figure who is in a relationship with you, when the relationship goes through these normal skydiving things,
Yeah.
you go through the same thing.
Or they were a better partner
Yes.
than they are a dad.
They are that. And then you'll have to switch them again. So, but if you are lucky and you meet somebody, and it's more, and I'll say this, it's more precarious for the single mom than the single dad.
Yeah.
As long as I can provide, no one really cares how many.
I think,
I've been
George,
through.
there is a thing, and you kind of alluded to it with girls, but also with boys, which is what is the, bless you, what's the outcome beyond the father or the mother? What's the impact on the child? So it isn't just, hey, I don't have a father figure there, but the impact, and I'll tell you, from the son of a single mom, you end up being responsible for your mom's well-being.
Yeah.
You are immediately thrust into the responsibility position, no matter how old you are.
Yeah.
And so you see her crying, you want to help. You see something wrong, you want to fix it. And that does never leave you. So what you're creating is it's not a dependency, it's a responsibility. Boy children end up wanting to take care of their moms. Girl children, I don't know. I've never had a girl child. I've never been a girl child, but I'm sure there's probably some equivalent. What's your responsibility to the parent when they are single and they don't have someone to rely on?
You're robbing them literally of their childhood.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Because like my firstborn son, when we went to the single dad thing, so now he became that it's now his role to take care of his siblings and take care of me. And he looks at himself like he's the one in charge and he's the man and this is a kid.
Yeah.
This is a kid
Yeah.
who should be out kicking a football, getting scraped knees and all that things, and coming home to be bandaged. But he's more he's more concerned and like what we talked about resources. So the minute he had, resources are dipping, he's the first one to panic, telling his sister, "No, don't drink that soda.
Stop the blue band.
Stop the blue band." And it's a kid.
Yeah.
I know at one point we'll have to pay for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And what he's saying. Because you try marry somebody who thinks it's the 100% duty to, as a boy child, to take care of the mom.
Good luck.
Good luck. I can tell you, good luck. And it's not like he's being biased or whatever, but it's I mean, how
It's
do
what
you
he knows.
decondition from what you've always known?
Yeah. Yeah.
And some of these things, we are not really thinking about it when we do it. And if you're very lucky, you can eventually get somebody who will come and you could start to work on those wounds. But these wounds, especially the ones that form pre-10 years, are very hard to undo.
Yeah, you live with them.
You
That's
live
it.
with them.
Yeah.
And then now that brings in more conflict for you. So there's no winning in this. And also and let me speak to this because we have started to airbrush a lot of things.
Yeah.
So if you find I have 2 kids out there that I'm not bothered with. Where is this that you're the new magician? Who is going to scrub that thing?
Yeah.
And suddenly I'm going to take care of yours.
Yeah.
I have no idea where this Delulu comes from, you know? Because it's like my track record is I don't.
Yeah.
I don't bother. But
0 out of 100.
Yes,
I can change you. I can change
have
you.
you seen how hot I am? This guy has no chance. No! Who told you the others were not hot? You know, it's not. And we need to have these conversations.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of it being glorified.
Yeah.
In terms of, and again, it always goes back to the interview questions. The interview questions should be around that. What happened? And people make mistakes. There are people who sired a child when they were in high school.
Yeah.
And you can sit and say, I was young, I was an idiot.
Yeah.
Is he taking accountability?
Yeah.
I was an idiot.
Yeah.
I was too young, I didn't think it through.
Right.
You have something there.
Yeah.
But if he says, hey, that girl was a wazimu, my friend.
She's one of 20 last year.
Yes, that's you coming soon.
Yeah. So as we close out the conversation so we've talked about all these things and the father figures and everything and the dads. But so what does a healthy, especially emotionally healthy dad or father figure look like, and what should they do to raise up their kids to even either be, well-rounded human beings? I'll just say that, because for both genders, just well-rounded human beings.
And let's make that easier and say, what's the one thing you would recommend to someone watching this that you would say, hey, you know what? Just do this. Even if you do nothing else, do this.
Wow. I would say presence. I think that if I was, there are very many other things, but I say presence. Presence doesn't mean I have the answers. I'm there. I'm there in my doubt. I'm there. So one of the things that my kids know is that I may not have the answer, but I'm there. I'm reachable. I'm available. I'm there. I'll be there. So I think the one thing I would say, being a dad is about being present. Don't believe that this whole thing that being a dad is about providing. I think I turned out right. My dad never paid one school fees in my life. Never. And I never, even when I evaluate him, sit and say, oh, but he didn't sort my school fees. Nah. And even your kids don't. People don't care about these things.
No.
So I think being present, I think dads of girls, girls learn how to value themselves by how you treat their mom.
That's true. And even what you speak to them.
So how they are seeing you. And,
yes.
and words, you can talk here in podcasts. But I'm a little raccoon at home. They are watching, laughing. Saying, what's that guy talking about? Kids learn by watching you. In the same way and vice versa. So for the dad to a young man, his self-confidence comes from a lot of the physical things you do together. It's time you spend together. Standing next to it, whether you're carrying something, doing something, making him feel part of. It's a bit different for raising boys and girls, but I think and both of them require presence. And if you don't, then I'm not saying when you're raising a girl, it's about how you treat her. Then also how you treat her. And I've had to learn not to say the first thing that comes to my mind. This is a dad. Here, item 1, don't say it. Item 2, don't say it. So item 3, say. It helps.
Take a breath.
Say.
Okay.
Price?
Yeah, I think my way of being a dad, another manual I take is the Bible. I have a spiritual direction. And to backtrack a little bit on the single moms, I feel that if you have fathered a child out there and you're busy running away, the first thing you're doing spiritually, you are investing rejection into that child.
Yeah.
So to kill that off, please, no matter what happened between you and the mom, it is very important for you to be making time. And of course, many people are like, hey, provision and all that. But I'm looking at time. Spend time with your little one, because I also realized myself, there's a bit of time I was not at home. I was not really spending time with them until my last born. Instead of saying they want tea, the boy said HI, and that is coming from the Luya land, which means they're spending more time with the house help, and now they've started learning from the house help. So that was like a light. I was like, wait a minute, what is happening here? Because I'm the one who he's supposed to be learning some things like this from me. And I've purposed in my life that my presence and the things that I do, because I know they have a great reflection onto the boys, one day it will catch up with them. Just to be there. And then if you're out there and you're wondering how to be a good dad, and there's I think the Montessoris are doing this, they first learn the child. Yeah, you'll realize you might have two boys, but they have different personalities. I don't know how, but you want to use the same script on both of them. Yeah, so some things might work, but you realize this one is more babyish. Let me call it that. This one is more vulnerable than the other one. This one responds to my commands on this way, and this one you can just say don't do that, and they won't do it. But the other one you have to say jasiri. Yeah, so you have to learn them and find a way to put your manual into place, not what was given to you by any other person.
Yeah.
Yes, and of course, spiritually, there's only any other way. The Bible.
So
yes.
I think I agree with both of you, but I think the number one thing both of you said, which is also what I say, is show up. Be there. Presence, time, show up. And what does that mean? It doesn't mean poke your head in the door and go, hey guys. It's, if they're little, carry them. If they're big, give them a hug. Tell them you love them. I mean, they're very little things, you know, but you know, show them that you have affection for them. And that's the number one thing. You don't have to give them gifts. You can, but you know, a 3-year-old will have just as much fun, maybe more, with some clay than they will with an electric Ferrari.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, it isn't about the scale. It isn't about how much money you spend. It's about, I showed up and gave her a balloon and she was so happy. That's it. She was happy with the balloon. She was happier I gave it to her.
Yeah.
So I think, show up.
Show up.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, we're recording this during Men's Day, so happy.
Yeah, happy Men's Day,
to you guys.
Thank you.
Right?
I didn't even know it was men.
It's every 4 years, right?
Every 4 years.
Once in every lunar eclipse.
We call it a red moon, right?
Yeah. And to all dads out there who are dads, we truly appreciate you. And I think you're doing a good job. So just be present.
There's nothing more rewarding.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing more rewarding than being a dad. Absolutely.
Thank you guys.
All right.
Thank you so
both
much.
gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Cheers.
Great.